their practice. Oh, okay.
How have they all been?
Good.
Good. Okay. Which, any specific camera?
Just,
All right. All right.
tell him he's cutting into our warm-up time.
It's weird looking at it with the lens, yeah. I see your perspective.
Nice stuff. Anybody that's ever come in with that one's volleyball. Because those look like uniforms. You used to wear Adidas uniforms like that.
Probably my sophomore year ago, I was in soccer.
No, we thought you guys would have jokes.
Yeah, do you guys have any jokes?
Yeah.
We ready? All right. University of Tampa, welcome to the 2021 NCAA Division II National Volleyball Championships here in Tampa. Coach, we want to start with just what it means for you and the program to be back at the National Championships.
It's surprising. Well, we've had a tremendous run over the years, and every one of them is just so special. It's so unique to get back. Sometimes you think you're going to get back multiple times, and you don't get back for a long time. Some teams, some programs, change their life and think they're going to get back here on a regular basis. It's so difficult to get back here that I just can't tell you. Everyone is really special, and this one is no more special than any of the others, but yet in some ways it is because we have a chance to play at home, and that's created a whole another dynamic, which is the stress of playing at home and dealing with all the distractions. But our kids are just so excited to have this opportunity, and so are our coaches.
Okay. Open up to questions.
Now that the rules are reversed from 2018, you guys are the older players on the team. Do you guys have any advice for the younger players that were in your position in 2018?
Man, we've been talking to them a lot. Over the last couple years, and this year we randomly kind of tell them little stories from 2018 and past games and history and how the Elite Eight and the fall festival was, and just sharing those fun memories. But I think today we just told them, soak it in. We could never have guessed that we would be back here, so being back in the Elite Eight is just amazing. But I still remember those memories, and I'm going to hold them for a lifetime, win or lose, no matter what. So I think we've just been telling all the underclassmen, just enjoy what you're doing, where we're at, and the experience, because it's not easy to get here.
Yeah, and a lot of the underclassmen, including the upperclassmen, are stressed about school. Just like I'm sure every other team here is stressed about school. But we just try to remind them, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and at the end of the day, you're not going to remember that one quiz that you might have got a B on instead of an A. You're going to remember, the moments here at the Elite Eight. So.
Coach, you kind of touched on some of the distractions that playing here in Tampa might bring for your team. Do you think it could bring some advantages as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We're comfortable here in this facility. As far as the lighting, the floor is different. The net's the same height, so that's no different. But the distractions are things like classes, and today we were able to get all of our kids. We gave them a deadline to get things done, and then we moved into the hotel because we really wanted to have the same experience. And that is, to try to remove ourselves from all the distractions, eat out as a team, do all the things you do if you were on the road at the Elite Eight. So this is unprecedented territory. Since they went to the neutral site, I don't think anybody's played in it, and there was no one to call and say, hey, how do we deal with this? So this is very special in many ways, but also distracting, and we're dealing with it. We're excited, actually, to get to this phase. Today's a long day. Let's see, we had community engagement, then press conference, then practice. Then after practice, we got to hustle back to the hotel, go to a meeting. And then once that meeting's over with, now we're in tournament time, and hopefully we can just go and enjoy it.
From the looks of it, you guys are a good blend of upperclassmen and wide-eyed underclassmen. I mean, your top two leaders in kills are a senior and a freshman, respectively. What are some advantages that come with having a blend of of kids of all ages as opposed to just a senior-led team?
Most of our seniors play big roles, so that's been awesome because you hope as a coach you've taught them and developed certain things in their game that come out at some point in their career, and they're starting to show those things, those abilities. The blend is nice. The freshmen, I think, keep these guys young a little bit. I mean, they're not that old, but they're in their early 20s, and these freshmen are 17, 18 years old and a little wide-eyed and goofy. But the freshmen, a very talented group. They're going to be, everybody thinks we're graduating a ton of kids and we're not going to be very good. I think we're going to be really good next year with some of the kids we have in the program. And this group's leadership and teaching them how to be humble and the way we do things at Tampa and the way we carry ourselves before and after matches and act during celebrations of plays, things like that. This group is giving them the gym culture or the game culture that they need to move forward. And that's how we want to do it. This group actually came in and we had to play all of these freshmen because we'd lost 9 seniors the year before. They had to play right away. And since then, we've been able to just pass it on, and these guys are passing it on to that next group that was already here. So big advantage to have a mixture, but great advantage to have this kind of senior leadership.
For coach and the players, just how important is it you have the experience, you want to have a good time, but to kind of set that aside and emphasize that you want to finish the job, across the finish line as the last team to have a win to end their season?
So this season, our motto has kind of just been 1-0, looking at the team that's going to be here that we're going to play tomorrow. We haven't even jumped ahead at who we could possibly play in the semis if we beat Augusta. So I mean, it is, like you said, it is at the end of the day a business trip and stuff, and we want to win, but we only focus on the team that's going to be ahead of us tomorrow.
Yeah, and once we start playing, we're really good, especially regionals, of just staying, like Carl said, 1-0 in every aspect, one point at a time, one game at a time, one opponent at a time, just everything. We just take it step by step and just don't jump ahead, which comes with how we just keep telling the freshmen, stay humble. This takes a long time. It doesn't matter who's on the other side, what their ranking is, their past history. It doesn't change what we do right now in this moment and how we play our game. So I think that's really been good for us as a team and good movement just to stay in the moment and go one at a time.
Coach, you're a UT alum, and this is your 38th year coaching in the program. What is so special, and what do you love most about this team and about the program?
Well, this is a new experience for me, so that's really special. I've had some other experiences that are Elite Eight experiences that are different. This is new. This group, we asked them, would they like to come back for their senior year because they didn't have that COVID year. So none of them hesitated. So that was a real nice affirmation that maybe I'm not such a bad guy, and they enjoy their experience here. So that's been really cool, kind of a reaffirmation that we're doing the right things. And I've just tried to, once we got into the playoff round, I tried to just sit back and actually just enjoy them as opposed to be my usual self, intense, get on them kind of coach. In the regionals, we had a long rally play where it was just funny, and I just laughed with them, and it was a critical moment because we ended up losing the set, but that was the first time I've ever been able to do that. I'm hoping to enjoy it.
This is for the players. With the uniqueness of a COVID year, the opportunity, I know both of you had the opportunity to move on. What motivated you after you've all both won a national championship already to come back and go through everything that you had to go through to be able to get to this point?
Well, for me, it was, we have put in so much time and effort into Tampa volleyball. Like, we didn't want to end on a COVID year, and coming back, we knew the potential that we were going to have, and I personally just did not feel right moving on. I've always heard, like, when you're done playing, you'll know when you're done, and I just did not feel like I was done or we were done. And I am so thankful that we were given the opportunity to come back and play, because it has been nothing short of amazing and just an experience that I will never forget.
Yeah, I think Sorrel kind of touched on it a little bit. Tampa volleyball is not just this team and the last couple teams in us. It's generations of people. I remember in 2018 we got videos of people from the 90s, 2006 team, all these different teams that follow us on a daily basis. They don't know us personally, but they still watch us. So knowing that would be joining a UT legacy and an alumni and a group and a network after we're done is exciting, but I think we all knew, like, we just weren't done. And we had more business to do, and as crazy as COVID was and as bad as it sounds, Taylor had our injuries. And while it seemed dark and like a bummer and like the world was just not fair in that moment, I have to be grateful for those injuries, because I can't imagine things playing out the way they did. It's the reason that we're here. I think we're here, all of us, in the combination of 2 6-year seniors, 5th-year seniors, these COVID freshmen. Like, the uniqueness of the situation isn't just, there's no way to even describe it, but the fact we're all here this year on this team, it's been an incredible journey, and at the end of the day, I'm grateful that no matter what happens, I get to end my career on the home court where it all began, and join that network that is UT Volleyball.
Coach, can you speak to what that means to you to hear these 5th, 6th-year players talk about a legacy, a network that you've created?
They did. That was eloquent, and I couldn't say any more.
You have players like Claudia, second-team All-American, who you have kills and a lot of stats that maybe don't show up. Digs isn't really like the sexy highlight, like, how many digs did so maybe if you look at a box score. But just to have a piece like that on your team contributing, just her and how people maybe work off of her, how important is she to this group?
Claudia, she came in freshman and sophomore year, and she was a DS. We knew she had the potential and the ability to be a libero, but we had our friend Nicole, who was libero, and in 2018 she was the libero, and she was raw also. But Claudia, she has that attitude on the court. Her stats show it. I mean, a libero getting a second-team All-American, I mean, that's incredible, And she deserves it. She brings that fire to our team, and we are confident in her on the back row. Like, I know in serve receive, she's going to take most of the court, and she's been awesome, and we are really grateful to have her. And yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird being 6th and 5th-year seniors, and Claudia came in as a freshman, and I've seen her entire career, which is not something most people can say other than coaches. And she came in freshman year, and she really wanted that starting libero position, but we did have an upperclassman ahead of her, and she was just so driven, and we call her spicy because she's our little Puerto Rican, but she just wanted to get on the court. She was just so anxious, but she was like, at the same time, I will do anything for this team, whatever that role may be. So the last couple of years after Nicole graduating, seeing her in that starting libero position, this is the moment she's been waiting for, and you can just see the fire in her eyes, and it is the backbone of this team. We've got very talented hitters, and our offense is very strong. We're very balanced, and we have a lot of depth on this team. But it begins with the first touch, and Claudia is that first touch, whether it's serve, receive, passing. She just controls the back line and allows us to do what we can, and for Coach to run the strategy and the plan that he has set forth for us. So I think we were so excited when we heard she got All-American. She almost didn't understand what we were going off about, but we would not be anything we are this year without that girl.
For both the players, whether you guys end up do going all the way, or God forbid, you get bounced tomorrow, the end is near. So how do you balance, or I guess I should ask, are you starting to get a little bit more sentimental about, going into practice? And if so, how do you balance that with trying to stay locked in and still trying to get the job done?
I think that's been the mood all
Yeah.
year. Is very similar, especially after COVID, having everything taken away. We couldn't guarantee we would be able to be back and be doing this, and whether coming back was even going to be an option. So the fact that we're here, I think all year we've been, just as a group of seniors, been every step of the way, taking a moment together and being like, this, we're not going to be able to do this after next year. Like, we need to just soak it in. And we haven't been able to sleep the last 2 weeks with regionals, knowing every game. They always tell you, play every game like it's your last, and now we're at the point where it's a reality. Every game could be your last for the group, 7 of us.
And we've just been embracing every moment, every practice, every meeting in the locker room, before practice, every game, We've just been enjoying it all, and we're just so grateful to be back here on our court just playing. This opportunity is just awesome.
Coach, you mentioned last Saturday after the regional win that your team got kind of mad at you when you mentioned pregame that they were undefeated on the road. Are you superstitious at all? And I guess for the players, does the team have any superstitions or pregame rituals that you guys partake in?
I think every athlete, every coach has some superstitions, clothing, routines, things like that. I tend to be the pessimist in life, and so when I do say something like, hey, we're undefeated on the road, they just lose their mind. We're a great road team. We have been. I don't understand it, but we've been a great road team. So we're trying to make this a road trip by staying in the hotel. And I know we're not in our locker room. We'll be in a different locker space. So we're trying to make that part of our little routine and superstition. Again, that question you asked, I'd rather not address those at this stage just because I want them to not get sentimental. And all the athletes here, all the seniors here are going to be sentimental about it. You just want them to be able to go out and play and then deal with the emotions of it ending afterwards. No different than any pro athlete that retires and plays their last game. You just got to lay it all out there and hope that it takes its course, and then we'll deal with the emotion afterwards.